Welcome back to the Idle Engineer and our electronics work table quick build. The goal is to make a little used section of the shop a place for microelectronics, planning, and corgis. The previous occupant had put up some pegboard, and the first step was tearing that out and finding some studs for shelving. We took it slow here since the pegboard may come in handy on a later project. With a small amount of demo done, we cut shelves out of 3/4 inch plywood left over from another build. After cutting both shelves with a circular saw, I gave it a light 80 grit sanding in preparation for some paint. Here Sally is laying down the first of 2 coats of what is quickly becoming our signature color. With the shelves painted, it's time to get the tabletop prepped and ready. Here we're using 1/2 inch MDF, and it's really soaking up the primer. Hopefully any painters out there aren't cringing too bad with my skills at the rattle can. Once the primer had dried, it was time for the first of 3 coats of chalkboard paint. After all the painting was done, it was time to hang shelves, and here we ran into a little challenge. This shop is a converted house, and the studs here were not at the standard 16 inches, so our 600-pound brackets had to go where the studs were, and ended up being a little off-center. Heavy items will just have to stay away from the springboard end of these shelves. Finally, the frame for the table is made from 4x4 and 2x4 lumber. We use the 4x4s from a discount building supply yard, so the price is right. Otherwise, 2x4s will work just fine. We also cut a bunch of 2x2s for the lower shelf. Until I start to learn some real joinery skills, I break out the pocket jig and start putting 4 holes in each 2x4 piece. Once all the parts are prepped, we begin assembly by attaching 2x4s to the 4x4 legs. I like using 4x4s because they can make a very solid work surface, and the added mass makes it harder for them to slide around when bumped into. Here all the 2x4 stringers are attached, flush at the top and 3 inches from the bottom. Since the tabletop is 1/2 inch MDF, some added support is needed for the work surface. These additional stringers were just evenly distributed across the top. Now it's time to mount the 2x2s, again evenly across the bottom. The 2x2s are mounted with 2.5 inch deck screws. The top is mounted into the 4x4 legs using countersunk wood screws. I'm really excited to try the chalkboard work surface for help in laying out and labeling parts, as well as quick sketch work. After placing the table, the surface is prepped using a light layer of chalk. Not only is there a dedicated prototyping area, but also a place for the fuzzy team members to be safe. We're excited to put this space to good use on future projects and videos. Thanks for watching The Idle Engineer. Follow us on Instagram and be sure to subscribe.